back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and as usual, this video is brought to you by the Excelsior Sporting Club. Today, I'm joined by a huge prospect in women's boxing. It's Tori Ellis Willetts. Tori, how you getting on, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
No worries. I want to go right back to the start. Tell me how you first got into boxing.
Originally, I did kickboxing. So I did kickboxing from the age of 11 to 18. Chantal Cameron actually did kickboxing at the same time as me. She was a couple of years older than me. Got to the highest level in kickboxing, and then, similar to Chantal, transferred over because I wanted to go to the Olympics. So I followed the route of going down the boxing route to aim to get on TV and that Olympic dream.
At what point though? Because I ask this question a lot because the transition from starting boxing to it's full time, that's the way you earn your money. At what point did that happen? Did you know, this is what I'm gonna do?
I joined the Army boxing team. It's had a full-time team. It has a similar setup to Great Britain. You train as a full-time athlete. You have strength and conditioning facilities. The gym space is great. There's tracks, nutrition, etc. So I went down that route hoping that the Army would support me and enable me to get that head start. And I got selected for the Army boxing team. So it kind of put me in a good routine, ready to go aim for the GB squad by winning the championships.
You mentioned being on the GB squad. Firstly, I just wanted to know, what did that mean to you? Because that's a massive achievement. And secondly, how much do you think that helped shape you as the boxer that you are now?
Yeah, it's ultimately most amateur boxers' dream is to get onto Team GB. So to achieve that, it was a massive accomplishment, and it meant a lot to me. It was a proud moment, and then obviously getting to represent them internationally at tournaments and competitions is even more of a proud moment for myself. So it did mean a lot, and it's kind of put me in a good stead for the expectations and the levels of Great Britain and traveling the world and training wise, it's expected for when you go into professional ranks that you're confident within yourself, that you've fought at the highest level.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with boxing, and especially at that amateur level, there's so many ups and downs, and with yourself. With the Commonwealth Games, they cut your weight class. They took out, I think, was it 52 kg?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We talk about these ups and downs. I just wanted you to talk to me a little bit about the disappointment of that, because ultimately you've used it as motivation to kick on in your pro career. But at the time, what was it like?
It was heartbreaking to have that taken away from me. Obviously, my hometown, all my family had already bought tickets the year before. We was all obviously really excited for it. I'd done the build-up for the Commonwealth Games in the square the year before for the year to go. And my hopes were, and my aim was just Commonwealth Games, nothing else. Just motivated for that. So when that was taken from me, I was absolutely devastated. It's kind of like the tipping point for me to you know what, I need to make changes, because I can't keep. There's only so many setbacks that you can take until you're at that point where I take a lot. I've took a lot. I always picked myself back up and always carried on. But this was something that it was just, my head was just gone, to be honest with you. So yeah.
But from that moment, like we say, you've used that as motivation to kick on. But
yeah.
So you left Team GB, you left the Army. Well, now you've not just a pro boxer, you're a teacher as well. Just talk to me about. The thing is, I'm a teaching assistant myself, and I just want to know how on earth you fit it all in.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started in January, after the first week, I got home on a Friday night, and I just was like, I said to Mum, "Is this what it's like to work a full-time job?" Obviously, I've trained as an athlete for the last 5 years, so now having to combine training in the morning, going to work, training in the evening, it's so hard. Yeah, it is hard. I'm not sure how I'll fit it all in and how I do it. But it's crazy, because sometimes after work you just you just want to go home. So having to go to the gym afterwards, it is tough. Ideally, my aim is to get sponsors to cover to try and cut down the hours. I can focus on like my boxing, get to the point where I want to win titles, etc. But obviously, having my career is important to me, because most people know that boxing isn't a long-term thing and there's life after boxing. So for me, it's important to just grind through now, do what I can, and hopefully it'll pay off.
Well, you made your pro debut on a decent card. I was looking at it a few days ago in Rotherham, and it couldn't have gone any better. You got the knockout. That's what everyone dreams of on the pro debut. But that's the thing. You only get one debut. Talk to me. What was it like?
Yeah, it was incredible, to be fair. Get co-main event on BBC iPlayer. I don't think I could ask for a better debut. Stoppage, I wasn't even in my head. I was thinking, you've got 6 rounds, just get through the 6 rounds. Like, don't rush, don't go out there trying to look for it. Just get these rounds under your belts, because you've got plenty more rounds to go. So that was quite overwhelming when that happened. Obviously, I was buzzing, but at the same time, I was just getting started. I just warmed into the first 2 rounds, and it was only then Max says, right, start going up your gears now. And as soon as I started going up the gears, it just kind of, that was it towards the third round, literally just at the end of the 3rd round. So yeah, but it was great to have important people, family and friends there, supporting, and it was good because I knew that my nan would be watching, which would be pleased for me and proud of me. So it was really good.
How much does it mean having those people, like you mentioned your nan there, to like motivate you, especially at these early stages when sometimes the dream of being world champion, it doesn't seem that close at the minute, but how important is it having those people around you to push you on?
Yeah, do you know what? I've had some really good support, considering I'm going into my 3rd fight soon. Have like consecutive support from on both shows that have been quite close together as such. So this is my 3rd fight. So my debut was only in May, coming up in September. So to have them consistently like pay the cost for the tickets, which aren't cheap anymore, to come and support, travelling wherever, Birmingham, Sheffield, back at Sheffield in September. I really appreciate it. And it's really good, because I know that when I'm fighting for a world title or whatnot, like they'll be there, and it'd be amazing to have them there from the start to the finish. And it's the ones most as well that are coming. That's what that matters to me. Those people, I know that like it means a lot to have them there. So yeah, it is really good.
Yeah, I just want to talk about that. The second fight you had, you fought a game opponent in Cruz who had never been stopped before. And I was looking at her record. She's fought some great boxers like yourself, but you got the win by unanimous decision. What was that night like? Was it a bit more difficult than the first one?
Do you know what? She weighed in the day before 2 weight divisions above.
Jesus Christ.
I was fuming, I'm not gonna lie. And it was like, do you take the fight? Do you not take the fight? I've sold over 80 nearly tickets. I was like to Max, I was like, there's no way I'm not taking this fight. It's in Birmingham. I've got all my family and friends are coming. He was like, he was like, I'm an Irish saying there's a show next week, and I was like, no. I was like, I'm ready to fight now. Like, I am not going on a show next week. Like, in my head, I'm ready to fight. It's a joke what she done, and it's because we agreed a weight, and she was adamant that she was going to make the weight. Like, it was agreed on that at that weight and she said that she'd make the weight. So for her to come in 2 weight divisions above, I was fuming, and I just tried to keep. I just act quite professional about it, and I just was like, so then we had to agree on, like, just obviously took the fight. But I think within the fight, in the back of my head, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
So at stages, I just like it turned you into fight mode. Because I was frustrated about the situation. But it's one of those things that you learn from, and I'm glad I've learned it from it now and experienced it now, rather than later down the line, because obviously you're gonna have these sort of things in boxing, and you just gotta not let it drift you away from the actual end goal of the fight. But box, considering she was a lot bigger than me, boxed really, really well, won every round convincingly. dominated it, to be fair, and landed some really good shots on her, which if she was my weight, it probably would have stopped the contest. To be fair, there wasn't a time in there that I felt distressed or worried, or I probably could have made it an easier fight than what I wanted to as well. It's just the fact that sometimes I just wanted to have a fight with her, which is good in a way because it entertains people, but at the same time, obviously Max it's in the back of his head. She's bigger than you, and it only takes one punch. But yeah, we got the win, so happy about that. And it's a learning curve which you've got to go through. So it's good to go through it now.
Well, next up, you're fighting in the Platinum Suite at Bramall Lane. Talk to me about, like you said earlier, you made your debut in May. Like, things are moving quickly. Like, are you happy with the pace that things are going at the minute?
I am, yeah. Fight Zone are looking after me quite well. Very well. Regular fights, which I'm happy about because I want to stay active. I want to keep learning. I want to keep improving it at each fight. They're giving me the exposure as well, like a co-main event on the last show as well, and then obviously for my debut. So I'm getting that from them. Dennis Hobson is looking after me really well. So we've got this fight as well, and then hopefully there'll be another fight probably October, November time. So I'm with it because I want it to kind of fast track to get to where I need to be. Yeah. So,
well, is there any word on an opponent yet?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Max was having a chat with NIALL, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Not too sure.
Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit about ambitions in boxing, because we mentioned earlier about how you've turned over pro. It's going quick, but at times like this early on, sometimes the end seems so far away, with those dreams and hopes and stuff. But what do you want out of the sport? Like, at the end of the day, when you're sat there as an old lady with your grandkids, what are you going to tell them you've done?
I want to achieve titles. I wouldn't mind achieving legacy as well. Similar people that are known female fighters like Katie Taylor. Everyone knows who Katie Taylor is. That would be good. But for me, it's to win the titles and achieve something within it. Obviously, I didn't get that Olympic dream. So titles are a big thing for me to achieve. It's not easy to achieve something like that and have that as in your in the background of your experience and stuff. So that's the main thing for me, is to hang up my gloves knowing that I've achieved titles. I'll be happy.
Well, you mentioned that did you say you kickboxed alongside Cameron? Firstly,
yeah, well, she was a couple of years older than me, but she had rivalry with a girl in my gym that's so quite good to see. Yeah.
So firstly, having come across her before, on your journey, what did it mean to see her beat Katie Taylor? And second of all, do you think she'll do it again in the rematch?
Yeah, I think 100%, to be honest with you. I think she wasn't even close at all. As much as I love Katie Taylor, it wasn't a close fight. And I think that now that Chantal's ticked the boxes, she knows what to do. She's going to do it twice as much, I think. So, a lot of people underestimated Chantal Cameron, but she's a tough girl, and I think that comes back from the kickboxing. A lot of them, you are quite built to be quite tough within it, from the fighting background. So I think as much as I love Katie Taylor, she's a good role model for every female, and inspiration. I think she will do it again.
After she beat Taylor, do you think she's got a rightful claim to say that she's the best female fighter on the planet?
Chantal Cameron?
Yeah.
Within that, yeah.
Well, who would you pick as better than her? Who's in that conversation for you?
It's difficult now because there's a few different females that are coming through that are like Ellis Boomgarden. She's one of my favourites at the moment. And although when she boxed Michaela Mayer, she wasn't at that point. Yeah. So it's different fighters are coming through and improved. I think she's improved since she fought Michaela Mayer.
Yeah.
So I think they're all coming like levels, and I think Clarissa Shields, she like outboxed completely Savannah Marshall. And it wasn't even close either. So I don't know. It's tough. There's a few good girls going around, so it's hard to say really.
Well, the last question. It's been a pleasure talking to you so far, but where do you see yourself? Just imagine it's Christmas time. You're with your family. What have you done by the end of the year?
You know what? We're gonna aim high. I'm gonna say achieve a title, so maybe a Commonwealth title or sort of title by Christmas time. And then I can relax, put my feet up, enjoy Christmas, then get back on it after to get the timber off.
Well, mate, fingers crossed. The plan all goes well. It's been a pleasure. I've been Lyndon Dixon. She's been Tori Ellis Willetts, and we will see you on the next one.
Wicked, nice one. Thank you.